Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy. Today we're looking at the new Expedition Tremor. I'll include a link to the Super Ford's website in the description down below. They're providing us with this Tremor. Also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a twin-turbo 3.5-liter V6 that goes through a 10-speed. Fuel economy is 15 around town, 22 on the highway, with power outputs being 440 horsepower and then 510 pound-feet of torque. Before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. First off, this flat gray with the blacked out Expedition badge looks pretty cool. You got the new headlight design down below, and then you can see you've got kind of like a satin finish on part of the grille and the rest of the grille is blacked out. Of course, being a Tremor, we've got gold accenting down below, parking sensors integrated too. And then this does have recovery points from the factory as well as some underbody protection. Tying it all together definitely looks cool for an off-road SUV. Our tire and wheel setup is 275 by 70 by 18, and just like the Maverick Tremor, you've got a gold accent around where the valve stem is. And by the way, these are pretty aggressive all-terrain tires. We've got these blacked out mirror caps, and then you got a little Tremor badge down below with the off-road side steps. And you know what? The stance on this rig is actually pretty cool. Now this has the normal key fob from Ford with the lock and unlock remote start. You get the opening for the hatch and then the Ford logo there on the back. And speaking of the back, we have a new tailgate with the Expedition. We also have some USBs back here and a 12 volts as well as a full power outlet. You got lighting back here, and then with these seats, for the second row you can fold it down with the buttons. For the third row you can raise and lower it with the buttons. And this is the Tahoe sized version of the Expedition, by the way. And if you close the top, it actually will automatically close both at the same time. Now this is pretty darn cool with the taillights. You can see kind of bleeds there into the tailgate, and then you've got the gold Tremor on the Expedition logo. So you definitely have to like gold, but I think the accenting with this gray looks pretty good. Let's check out the interior. More of that gold with the stitching up above, and there is nice soft touch down below as well. B&O sound system, and then plenty of storage in the door panel. More gold there on the side of the seat, perforated all down the center. Legroom back here is great. We've got a double storage pocket, USB port there. Cup holders here in the rear. We also have our own climate zone, as well as heated seats for the second row. And the second row has captain chairs. As a third row passenger, I can actually recline my seat, and got some USB ports, as well as pretty good lighting because there's a window back here. Headroom back here is pretty good. I don't have a ton of space, but a bit, and then legroom. It works! Let's now pop up front. We've got more of that kind of gold stitching, blind spot monitoring with the mirrors. The mirrors power fold in, and then we've got all of our window controls. Notice they're all automatic. Payload capacity with this rig is 1,360 pounds. Tremor there on the front seat, again, more perforated trim all down the center. The seats are power adjustable and have lumbar support. This trim here in the dash is kind of cool, and you got more of that gold stitching. We've got these controls here for the tailgate and for the hatch. This has a rear locking differential. It also has 4-wheel auto, low and high, and 2-wheel high, and then your drive mode select is built to that dial. Just like other new Expeditions, this has the very squared off, or rectangular, I guess, steering wheel. On the one side you have your cruise control, on the other side it's kind of like multi-function, but basically you're pressing these buttons and then stuff will pop up there on that screen, and then you can customize stuff. For example, you can adjust the steering wheel up and down with that. Now with the screen itself, it does have a bit of glare that is something to note, but instead of having a heads-up display and a normal gauge cluster, they've kind of combined it into two with this whole screen. And on the right side of the screen there is more screen, and this can be customized in the infotainment system. Right now it's displaying a navigation screen. Speaking of infotainment system, this is where the camera system pops up. We do have a 360 camera with this, and I'd say the resolution on it is really good. And then as for the infotainment system, there's a shortcut bar here on the side to go into the different tabs. Notice this does come with trail turn assist. You know, your seat adjustments there. I like how you've got a little depiction of the Tremor too. But if you select that widget tab, this is what lets you customize what is displayed up top there. This comes with a little dial shifter. You've got plus and minus for the gears, and then some physical controls right next to it, like your volume control, auto stop, start, parking assist for the camera, stability control, and then this does have Ford's trail control. This one comes equipped with a safe, and guess what, I can cover it up because the center console moves. Got some cup holders in the center console, and then we've got a wireless phone charging pad. Your Pro trailer is built into this little cubby here. Interestingly enough, some more USBs. Nice trim here on the top of the center console, and then opening it up, it's got plenty of storage space inside. Up top, we've got these controls for the panoramic sunroof. So 2025 Tremor Expedition. This one has the 501A equipment group. A couple options added to it. $84,380 is the total MSRP. Let's see how it performs. Expedition Tremor. This is probably the Expedition that most people want, right? They want the cool off-road looks, or at least here in Utah, everyone always wants cool off-road looks. Even if they don't take a vehicle off-road, they like the idea of being able to go off-road. Now it is nice what this has feature-wise. I mean, heated and cooled seats. You've got heated seats for the second row. It's pretty loaded up when it comes to features. Now, unlike the F-150 Tremor, this has independent suspension, excuse me, independent suspension in the front and in the rear. So that's gonna help out with the handling. It's also gonna help out with the ride quality. Sorry, my backpack's being stupid. It's also gonna help out the ride quality on road as well. Man, the torque that this has on the low end is actually pretty impressive. This steering is weird at first, but I've reviewed enough of these new Expeditions that I can tell you get used to it. I know some people are gonna be annoyed with that. They're gonna be like, no, it's too different. Especially this, the shape of it's definitely weird. There's no two ways about that. Ford's definitely taking a risk going for this shape. Kind of reminds me of the Tesla Plaids a little bit. And you know what? I think this is a perfect example of reinventing the wheel, right? Literally. It's like, why? What's the point? Because here's the deal is, there's a potential payoff, but the reality is probably just not gonna be what people want. Man, the torque this has is actually pretty impressive. Ride quality's, I mean, good. Again, the independent suspension helps to isolate things quite well. So that's a plus. You know, although the steering is weird, I feel like I can actually kind of tell what's going on. But it almost gives too much feedback. Almost. It's not bad. It's just different. Seats are comfortable, so that's a plus. It seems like the trim on them is pretty nice. I mean, what I care more about is, you know, long-term durability, which I'm wondering, this sliding center console, how long is that going to hold up for? Seems like a little bit of gimmicky. Oh, it's got a turn signal camera. That's pretty cool. Let's let her rip. Oh, yeah, the EcoBoost is an eco beast. Am I right? It's seriously, it's got good power. It's a pretty impressive powertrain in the Expedition. This vehicle does weigh over 6,000 pounds. So, Expedition Tremor. Well, this competes against Sequoia TRD Pro. I mean, especially price-wise. Sequoia TRD Pro, it competes against the AT4 Yukon, Z71 Tahoe. Jeep kind of, the weird thing is Jeep should be the like leader in this pack because it's freaking Jeep, but Jeep's Wagoneer, like, they had like a little off-road package last year, but it really wasn't that much. Like, they've seriously dropped the ball. They have seriously dropped the ball. So here's my thoughts compared to GMC and Chevy. Well, you can't get a V8, so that's a plus for GMC and Chevy for those who want V8s, but the V8 that you get with them is blowing up left and right, so that's a little bit of a minus, right? I like the fact this has a selectable rear locker. That's a big plus. And, you know, I mean, this compared to the GM vehicles, I don't really feel like there's one or the other that I like more. I think they're pretty equal. Where things get different is the Sequoia. If you're actually going to be doing a lot of off-roading, the Sequoia is actually the best one to get. Toyota's MTS system is by far the better system to go for, and also the new Sequoia is a solid rear axle, so it's going to be the most capable. So if you're actually going to do a lot of off-roading, Sequoia, but if you're just going to do occasional dirt roads and it's mostly a family car, this with the new tailgate and everything is actually pretty cool. So I don't know, let me know which, and I will say Ford's traction control system is better than GM's, so there is that too. But anyways, let me know which one you'd go for.